Dear Starseeds, in this series Xirana, the teacher of civilizations, we weave Arcturian teaching together with Javanese cosmology and the ancient memory held within the island of Java, Indonesia. A link to the full playlist with all the teaching videos will be displayed on the screen. Javanese cosmology did not arise in a single moment, nor was it shaped by one culture alone. It grew slowly over millennia, woven from ancestral memory, careful observation of nature, oral storytelling, and the lived experience of human beings deeply attuned to their surroundings. In this worldview, mountains, rivers, forests, and the sky are not passive scenery, they are alive. Every hill carries a presence, every stream remembers what has passed. Reality itself is a living network in which humans, animals, spirits, and landscape continuously interact. Within this living tapestry, Mount Merapi stands as one of the most important anchors, accompanied by Marabudur, Borobudur, the Diang Plateau, and the southern sea known as Laut Kidul. These places have long been regarded not only as geographical features, but as thresholds between worlds. They are sites where the physical realm opens into subtler dimensions, and where humans, if receptive, can sense or communicate with the unseen forces that guide the land. Memory streams suggest that beings now described as Arcturians were quietly present in Java during earlier epochs of human and pre-human development. They did not appear as gods demanding worship, nor as rulers imposing their will. Rather, they acted as subtle guardians, pangreksa, working in partnership with those capable of receiving their influence. Their guidance arrived through intuition, dreams, sudden insight, or through moments of inner clarity rather than through overt instruction. Their presence helped shape how temples were positioned, how mountains were understood, and how early cosmological ideas took form. To understand these interactions, it is useful to consider the density framework within which different beings operate. Humans primarily inhabit the third density, anchored in physical matter and linear time. The Lemurian consciousness, whose echoes remain strong throughout central Java, functioned closer to the fifth density, blending intuition, unity, and heightened perception. Arcturian mentors, however, often operated from the seventh and eighth densities, semi-physical realms where movement across dimensions is fluid and natural. The ninth density Arcturians exist as luminous fields of awareness, exerting influence without form. You know them as the ninth density collective of Ra. Beneath Merapi, memory streams speak of Sol Terra One, an ancient Arcturian learning center built upon fifth density foundations. Recognizing this context helps explain why Javanese cosmology developed such a refined and layered understanding of the universe. Early Javanese cosmology envisioned existence as three interwoven realms. The upper realm, Kayangan, is the domain of refined beings, ancestral teachers, and subtle intelligences associated with air, light, and the highest mountain peaks. The middle realm, Bhuvana Agung, is the world of humans, animals, plants, and all visible life. The lower realm, often described as Bhuvana Alit or Alam Arva, is the subtle domain of spirits, guardians, and memory keepers, where ancestral presence and the imprint of the land are preserved. These realms were never seen as separate layers stacked on top of one another, but as dimensions that overlap and interact. A single mountain could embody all three. A temple could reflect their structure. Through disciplined practice, laku, a human being could move between them. The quiet influence of Arcturian consciousness aligned naturally with this worldview because both emphasize refinement, humility, and attunement to the deeper order of reality. Javanese tradition teaches that nature is sentient, that mountains are living guardians, and that the unseen world is structured and purposeful. Dreams and intuition are recognized as legitimate channels of knowledge. Teachers work quietly, without seeking recognition, cultivating clarity and balance in those who are ready to receive. Over centuries, these foundations blended with the ancestral memory of Austronesian peoples, indigenous animist traditions, the older cosmology of the Sundanese, the philosophical structures of Hindu-Buddhist thought, and the mystical strands of Islam that later took root. What emerged is the layered, uniquely resonant cosmology of Java, a system not imposed by authority, but grown organically like a forest, shaped by many seasons and many hands. This layered cosmology is part of the reason why Java carries such a distinct spiritual presence even today. Mountains act as multidimensional nodes linking realms. Borobudur mirrors cosmic architecture and the ascent of consciousness. Dreams continue to function as spaces for teaching. Guardianship with a human ancestral or non-human remains an essential theme in both myth and practice. Above all, refinement of the self remains the heart of spiritual advancement, just as it is in the higher density civilizations that once influenced the land. To study Javanese cosmology is not to reconstruct old myths for their own sake. It is to trace a living memory of how humans once lived in harmony with higher dimensions of awareness, recognizing their place within a much larger field of consciousness. Mountains become gates, temples become maps. Dreams become classrooms, guardians become guides. Together they form the foundation of what follows, an exploration of sacred sites, energetic currents, and the hidden wisdom encoded in Central Java's landscape. This was all for today. Until next time, don't forget to carpe diem or seize the day.